Morning everybody. This is going to be kind of Roach's reply. Seemed to go down quite well last time, and I always have a couple of people that are wanting answers to questions, so I'll pick out a couple of the most interesting ones, and they're the ones that I'll address for you. Okay, so no cooking in this film, but my beautiful wife has done me a breakfast sandwich, you know, so we've got a couple of grilled sausages and a fried egg on top in a bap with some beautiful brown sauce and a nice cup of tea. So I feel ready to sort of seize the day. Right, Roach's reply. I've got some notes here, so forgive me for looking at those. I've picked out two questions really that I'm going to address, hopefully in some detail for you. First thing I'm going to do is answering a question for Jeff Whiting, who's one of my subscribers. Jeff wanted to know about MTP smocks, so multi-terrain pattern. There's a lot of it about at the moment because the British Army are, you know, they've finished their campaigns in Afghanistan and are now looking to replace that particular camouflage pattern with something more appropriate for the threats ahead. You know, so there's an awful lot of MTP surplus on the market at the moment. But in truth, it's not being manufactured anymore, and it's not going to last forever. So there's quite a lot of it about. There are some bargains to be had, but it's not going to be there indefinitely. The next thing about MTP is you can get MTP shirts. Then I think the next layer would be a fleece or a softie of some sort. Then you'd have your combat jacket. Over the top of your combat jacket, you would have a Gore-Tex barrier. Now there are, to my knowledge, 3 Gore-Tex systems. So you would have a lightweight Gore-Tex outer. You know, the greatest thing about those is that they pack up really small. You know, you could fit that in maybe a belt or a pouch. That's kind of the idea. You know, it takes up very little room at all. Then you would have a kind of standard Gore-Tex layer, and then you can have a heavy Gore-Tex layer. And I'm going to talk a little bit about exactly what Gore-Tex is and why the kind of MTP Gore-Tex outer shells that are on the market at the moment are what I think pretty good value for money. The other thing that I've had a request for is again one of my subscribers. It's a channel called ASA. He wanted to know about the Bourbon that I'm presently using at the moment, and the same sort of thing, you know, the advantages of it, where I got it from, how much you should pay for one, and why I think it's a good deal. So this is kind of Roach's reply for today. That's what we're going to be talking about. Just going to have this little bit of breakfast and I'll crack on for you. Okay, let's have a little closer look at this multi-terrain pattern jacket. So it's a windproof fabric outer. I don't think the fabric's changed much. I remember DPM combat jackets, windproof smocks being great, and I would assume that the fabric's probably the next generation, but not massively different. 4 major pockets on the coat, so these pockets are about 8 inches square. They're also sort of pouch pockets really. They have a sort of an expansion seam down the side, which is really handy. Comes with a hood. You know, greatest thing about the hood's quite generous, and it's got a wire hoop in it, you know, so that really fits and cinches down quite nicely over your head. On the sleeves you've got these kind of patch insignia Velcro pads, and you also got 2 pockets on the sleeves. On the front you've got these 2 zip pockets. These are kind of internal pockets. Really, they just have a kind of mesh lining. There is no lining to talk of in this jacket. One of the greatest things about it is that if it gets wet, it dries really quickly, which for the military, you know, is kind of really important. The other thing is that it's not a massively warm, hot jacket to work and operate in. Bear in mind that most frontline soldiers will be carrying about 150 pounds worth of kit. Underneath the arms you've got these zips which add kind of ventilation. They're there to kind of cool you down and take heat away from your body. they're another really good idea. Within the jacket, you've got, in the bottom, you've got this kind of cinch cord, so you can really tighten it up around your waist. I used to like to try and lay my hands on the biggest jacket that I possibly could, so it came down sort of way behind my bottom really, and then I would cinch it down. The other thing that I used to do was I used to probably end up cutting 5 or 6 inches off the end of the sleeves, you know, just to kind of make it fit me once I'd got this massive jacket. The other thing that the jackets come with is this kind of cinch cord on the waist, so you can pull that down, and that's the sort of heat retention, but it's also an attempt, you know, to make the jacket fit properly and make you look a little bit smarter. On the inside of the jacket, there's a couple of spare buttons, so they are worth their weight in gold. You've got these kind of storm flaps over the pockets to stop the pockets filling up with water. The other thing is that you've got this kind of fold at the top, which just sort of backhandedly ensures that you can't lose anything out of your pocket. The military are fanatical about doing up pockets. If you leave a pocket open, really what you're saying is you just don't need the equipment in that pocket. Button closures, because they're silent. These big pockets here really are not a lot of use to you once you've got your kind of belt order or your chest rig on. Sleeves have Velcro fastenings. Same again on the other side, you've got this zip under the arm, which is designed to kind of cool you down, help disperse heat. I really like this jacket. I think this is the next generation. I like these kind of zip type internal pouches. You've got your rank slide, so again this is the kind of second generation. You know, you go back maybe 10 or 15 years, you would find people wearing their rank on their shoulders. Now they wear it on a rank slide on the front of their coats. When you're standing in front of someone, you know, it's obvious who you're talking to, and it just doesn't highlight who the kind of local and senior commanders are on the ground, because that obviously they are kind of priority targets. The coat's got a really heavy duty zip on it, which I really like, you know, really high quality. There's some markings on the zip for you here. I think it says SVS, but that is a really kind of chunky zip. It's also got the storm flap, and it's also got these kind of intermittent little Velcro fastenings. So in the last year or so that I've been knocking around in this jacket, I've been nothing but pleased and impressed with it. It's substantial enough to keep you warm and dry. Any army surplus kit and equipment comes in 5 sizes, and it would come in a small, medium, large, extra large and double XL. The army seem to have their own kind of sizing system. I'll put a chart up on the video just explaining it, but very simply, a 160/80 would be a small, a 170/90 would be a medium, a 180/100 would be a large, a 190/110 would be an extra large, and a 200/120 would be a double XL. Like I said, I always much preferred to have jackets that were way too big for me, and then what I could do, of course, would be to tailor them down. Once I'd got them to the required size, I usually ended up with material left over, which was excellent for putting in your housewife, patching, repairing kit and equipment once you were out in the field. But my 2penn'orth, the bigger the better. Remember that you want a jacket that you can get maybe a fleece or a softy jacket underneath, and then of course you're going to want to maybe lay your hands on a Gore-Tex waterproof outer, because like I say, this is kind of showerproof really and windproof. It isn't a waterproof garment. So that's my thoughts on the MTP jacket. Like I say, I've been wearing this one for over a year, absolutely 100% satisfied with it, and I'll go on to sort of tell you where you might be able to lay your hands on one and what you should pay for it in a second. So that's the MTP smock. Now what I'm going to do is put on the table for you the next kind of layer in this system, and this is the Gore-Tex outer. Right, so the first thing we need to talk about really is what Gore-Tex is. So Gore-Tex is a man-made fabric, but what's it really about? So garments engineered with Gore-Tex Pro fabrics are built for maximum ruggedness and ideal for extreme and extended use. They're tough, extremely breathable, provide waterproof and windproof protection to outdoor professionals and serious outdoor enthusiasts. And if you didn't already know it, that's people like us. You can get Gore-Tex jackets that are absolutely feather light, you know, but these things are always a trade. You know, most Gore-Tex garments are a laminate of at least 3 layers. So you would have a soft fleece-like inner, then you have the Gore-Tex membrane, and then you're going to have a tough, durable, rugged outer. Now the jacket that I've just put on the table for you really is a British Army equivalent of a very top-end garment, and you've got to be careful when you buy this type of Gore-Tex product, sort of army surplus, because it does come in several different specifications. You know, sometimes Gore-Tex outer shells, like I've said, are very light so that they can be folded down into a very small space and put into a frontline soldier's kit, you know, where he's not carrying a massive extra weight, you know, in regards to kind of waterproof clothing, you know. So whereas you get people in the rear echelon that perhaps aren't going to be expected to get involved directly in frontline conflict with the enemy. We are kind of recreational outdoor types, and this kind of product is more suited to us because we're not carrying massive, we're not traveling massive distances, and most of the time we're not carrying massive loads, so we can go for the extra weight of the triple Gore-Tex product. I went online recently looking for civilian equivalents of the triple Gore-Tex products. Berghaus make triple Gore-Tex, but their triple Gore-Tex jackets start at £192 and they end up at something like 340. Jeff also asked me about price, about what he should be paying for a smock and a kind of waterproof outer. I think really, Jeff, shirts are probably going to be about £20. Jackets are going to be anywhere from 20 to 50, and Gore-Tex outer shells will be probably start at around, I would say, around £50. Okay, ASA asked me which pack I'm using today. The answer to that is I'm using the Berghaus Cyclone Vulcan 2. This is a pack really of 5 compartments. So one on the top, the main body of the pack, a compartment at the bottom, and 2 side pouches that zip together and make a 30-litre day sack. Predominantly it evolved from a military pack, which was the sort of Berghaus Rock and the Berghaus Crusader, which were manufactured in the sort of late 70s, early 80s, and the Crusader was commonly used throughout the Falklands campaign. I absolutely love this pack. Berghaus equipment is sort of second to none. They make it for the military. It's a absolutely brilliant piece of kit, but it's not cheap. This pack was about £180, but I give you an absolute assurance, if you buy one of these you will have it for the rest of your life. I bought a Berghaus Rock, which is a 70-litre pack, in the late 70s, and granted it is struggling a bit, but I still use it today, you know, and it is still a very adequate pack for you know, pretty much anything you would want to do with it. I've owned the Berghaus Rock over 35 years and it is still going. You know, if you buy a Berghaus Cyclops Vulcan 2, you absolutely will not be disappointed with it. It's got this very heavy duty carry handle on the front. It's also got another one on the back. You know, the back system has got this very robust fabric with this air channel to cool your back and your spine. Quite firm carry straps. It's got the chest harness, it's got the patented kind of Berg buckle, which is a kind of quick release system. Hasn't changed much in, like I say, late 70s to today, because it is a absolutely bulletproof proven pack. Comes in 3 or 4 sizes, can't remember exactly, but very simply the pack is fitted to your physical height, and that just means from the nape of your neck to your waist differs slightly the taller or shorter you are, and there are 4 sizes of pack for you to buy that match your physical height. Just talk about this one briefly. I used this for a couple of years, you know, when I didn't have that sort of money. I think this pack was about 70 or 80 pounds. It's a Snug Pack SP40. I tell you from my heart that this is basically a knockoff of the Berghaus pack, that it does exactly the same thing. The canvas is a lesser material, the whole thing really is a lesser quality, but you've got to bear in mind that it's half the money. The back of this pack is quite well padded. It's got this Airtex fabric. The trouble with throwing it on and off the truck or loading it, this Airtex fabric gets ripped. It's nowhere near as robust and hard wearing, and you can see here that I've patched it up a couple of times where throwing it on and off the truck it got ripped. But for half the money it's pretty much exactly the same Bourbon. 5 compartments, 1 in the lid, a main body. There's a small compartment in the bottom for a Bourbon cover, and it has 2 15-litre side pouches that zip together to make a day sack. That's Snug Pack's interpretation of it. This is the real. So here's the Bourbon cover that goes with my Berghaus pack. I just store it in the bottom compartment. This is where it lives. Another good place to put it is in the pouch on the top, but just easily accessible. You know, all it is a DPM camouflage Bourbon cover, and inside I've just bought a couple of meters of orange fluorescent ripstop nylon fabric, sat down at the sewing machine and just sewed it in. So now that's a reversible air marker panel for you for about a £5. So just want to put this on the table really as an alternative. This pack is a 65-litre pack made by Jeep, the American vehicle manufacturer. They went into sort of outdoor luggage and equipment for a while. I found this pack to be absolutely bulletproof, so really good kind of clips and fastenings, compression straps. It's got these sort of pockets on the side. The carry system looks really good, you know, this sort of Airtex back, but the height is also adjustable, as you can see there. Really kind of simple system. It's got a couple of good carry handles on it. Anyone can have a guess as to how much I paid for this. I bought it used off of eBay, and I have to turn around and say it is absolutely in A1 condition. But I paid £15 delivered for this pack. You know, so if you haven't got £180 for a Berghaus Cyclone 2, if you haven't got £80 or £90 for a Snug Pack SP40, you can find equipment like this on eBay for very little money at all. You know, I am blown away by the quality of that pack and the fact, like I say, it was £15 delivered. Okay, so that's Roach's reply to Jeff Whiting and to ASA that wanted to know about jackets, smocks and the pack that I'm using today. Just like to give you some stats really for the channel, but over the last 28 days 60,925 more people have viewed the channel, and 622 people have subscribed. So just like to say a big welcome and thank you very much to all of those new subscriptions. I'm doing my best to keep the channel interesting. I've got some new kit and equipment reviews in the wind. I'm still active at the farm, so I've got 175 acres to play on, and I am there most days. I've got all of my sort of support network of preppers, so you know, Funky Prepper, Lone Wolf, Wild Soul 62, and I'm hoping Pete Mind Wiseman, aka Maverick Outdoors, will make an appearance, but we're having a get together on the 18th of this month, and maybe we'll post something up for you there. So I think that's all of my news. If I could ask you to thumbs up, like, share, comment, subscribe, it really helps me kind of run the channel. We're at that time. I'd just like to say, as always, any comments, love to hear them. Back soon.